Hi and welcome to the Rebecca Rose YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about dealing with rejection. Rejection is a common term that you are going to hear in every aspect of your life. Every aspect of your life. If you're thinking this is a YouTube channel that talks about your journey into acting, then yeah, rejection goes hand in hand with that. It's inevitable. I would say 90% of the time, that is what you're going to be experiencing. You're going to be rejected from an agency, maybe, who says you're just not the right fit at the right time. You could be rejected from a role that you've prepared for and you've auditioned really hard for, and at the very end, they just say, sorry, we decided to give it to someone else. And the truth is, there are so many factors to a rejection that you will drive yourself crazy. You will make yourself sick if you're trying to figure out why did you reject me? In a lot of cases, you're just not gonna know. Something that I have learned talking to people who are more professional in this scene than me, or have been here for a longer time, let's say, they say that most of this is about the mindset. I think you can say that very easily, but actually practicing that mindset when it really comes down to it is really, really hard. The people that have made it big in this industry, it seems like a lot of times it's the people who have just been here the longest. And they're the ones who overcame rejection over and over and over and over and over again until the one time when they weren't rejected. So these are just some things that I've been thinking about when it comes to rejection, because already in my short foray here in the United States, in the acting world, I have experienced rejections aplenty. And Mr. Manager can attest that I haven't always responded well. And that's a little embarrassing to say, but I'm just telling you honestly, that is the things that I felt, and these are the ways that I have prepared myself mentally and emotionally to overcome future rejections that are bound to happen. One, I think you need to reset your mind on what this industry actually is. What is your job in this industry? If you're an actor, your job isn't necessarily to act. That is the final goal you're going to reach. But I think first and foremost, your job is to audition. And so if you remember that, then you'll take that really seriously, and then you'll understand, okay, I did one audition, I moved on to the next. It's just part of the daily grind, auditioning well. The other thing is finding out how to take care of yourself regularly. So when the rejection does occur, you're gonna feel prepared for it. It's like somebody who works out every single day. You're not actually thinking you're going to have to run a marathon in a couple months, but if you're running every single day just to take care of your physical health and just to use your body to its full capacity, when the time comes that you're like, yeah, I'm gonna run that marathon, then you're a whole lot more prepared to handle that intense moment, right? If you're mentally and emotionally and spiritually preparing yourself, that when the rejection does happen, you're already built up and strong. So it's not gonna knock you down as hard as it might otherwise, right? And let me tell you a story in regards to that. The first time I ever was really rejected for a role that I felt was mine and I felt like I could really do it. It was in high school. I was a freshman. Finally, I got the chance to audition. Now I was a freshman. I knew I could sing. I knew I could dance a little. I knew that I could compete with the other students who were trying out for the lead role. And in my naivety, I thought like, oh, she's gonna pick me. When I saw the cast list and who got what, and I wasn't even on it at all, I went home and I cried my eyes out. When I look back at it, part of it has to do, of course, with my youth. Part of it has to do with I just didn't prepare myself mentally for that. I just thought I was great and that was it. But I wasn't actually building up my defense system or my ability to absorb rejection, because up to that point, I just thought I was the shiz. After that rejection, I cried for like 2 days straight. And it's not to say that I won't be hurt to that same level in the future, but it was a good lesson to have. Had nothing to do with being prepared for the role. I felt prepared for the role. I wasn't prepared for the actual work, which was to accept an audition sometimes isn't gonna go right. Another way to overcome rejection is just acknowledging the pain. I think it's okay to just be like, this sucks. But the thing about overcoming the rejection is just acknowledging the pain and then letting it go. I'm gonna tell you a second story. I auditioned for a musical, and this was when I was in university. I felt like, oh, I'm gonna come in there and I'm going to blow them all away. I didn't get the role. Now, there could be a million different factors for why I didn't get the role, and I can have my speculations, but the truth is, I'll never know. However, instead of me acknowledging like, wow, this really hurts, I should have gotten this. This really hurts. I just brushed it off like, whatever. It's just small community theater anyway. They just don't recognize talent when they see it. Like, such a fathead response now that I think about it. But I was really passive aggressive. I stayed on just to do some chorus stuff because I was like,
oh, well, at least I can provide my voice in some capacity.
And I resented the lead for the whole course of the show. Instead of enjoying the art itself at that point, acknowledging that it hurt and moving past the rejection and then enjoying the position that I had because it was part of a wonderful production and a wonderful team. But at the moment, I couldn't see it because I couldn't get past the resentment that I held. And that's a very bitter way to go through acting, I think. You need to be able to move past it. You can acknowledge that hurts, then you gotta move past it and don't hold it. Rejection is an opportunity to better yourself. We hear this all the time, right? Failures are only failures if you let it be a failure, right? A failure can become a success if you learn from that failure. And I think that's the same thing with rejection. Rejection is an opportunity to better yourself. Sometimes you will know why you got rejected, right? Hey, we really love the way you look. You suit the part. We love your voice and all of this. But you're just not a very strong dancer. Why don't you take some lessons, train a bit, come back to us next year and try again. You can take that rejection in two ways. One is, I'm good enough and you didn't see my talent, you didn't appreciate what I actually have. And the second one is to be like, oh, this is constructive. Let me go and work harder. We like to think about the success in the end, but we forget all of the hardship and hard work that they invested in the beginning. Other thing is, remember that you are multifaceted. So they didn't like that one side of you. Okay, that's fine. They didn't like that one side of you, but you are multifaceted. You've got a lot to who you are. So they didn't like this one tiny fraction percentage of who you are. That's fine. You have all of this other stuff of you to offer. And I'm gonna tell you a final story of a rejection that really hurt me and lasted a long time. But I was doing auditions for a really big fashion week, and one of the designers said to my face as I was walking for her, "You're fat. You're fat." And that was it. And I left completely crushed because it was a very personal comment, right? And so I held on to that for a really long time. But the thing is, now that I look back at it, okay, but just being a certain weight, does that define you as a performer? Does that define you as a model? We look at models today. There are all different kinds of body shapes and sizes and looks. So that one designer saw that one aspect of me that she didn't like. But there are hundreds of other designers who look at me and say, whoa, this is the model for us. So you can't hold on to those one negative word that you heard from somebody and think that's defining you in all other aspects. How did I overcome that rejection? I admit I didn't overcome it in a healthy way. Like, telling you frankly, I dieted and it wasn't good for me. And that damaged me more in the long run than if I'd taken it and been like, man, too bad. Well, I love my body and I'm healthy, so that's good. And moved on, right? So take rejection either as an opportunity to better yourself, recognizing that it's not all of who you are, and acknowledging that hurts, let it go, and then move on with your life. And I promise you, from my own personal experience, that things are gonna go a lot better for you in the long run. Because the stories that I wanna hear about you and what I hope you hear about me in the future are the stories of my success and the stories of your success. Even after facing countless rejections, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen in life. But then how you grew from that and how you moved forward. And people are gonna remember that. If you have any comments or things you'd like to share or nice things you'd like to say, you can leave it in the comments below. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can know when another video is coming out. Thanks for watching.
You're sad. Discouraged.